is Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Doug Brown. The Thunder are one win away from an NBA title, beating the Pacers in Game 5, 120-109. Jalen Williams with a career playoff high 40 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander adds 31. For Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton played most of the game with a sore right calf. He had just 4 points, 0 for 6 from the floor. The Dodgers beat the Padres Monday night 6-3. Shohei Ohtani allows one run in one inning of work. It was his first pitching appearance in almost 2 years. He also had 2 hits and drove in 2 runs as the DH. In their first game after trading Rafael Devers to the Giants, the Red Sox win their 6th in a row, beating the Mariners 2-0. Roman Anthony with his first career home run for Boston.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk. John Abraham. 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
And welcome in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight of sports talk, reaction from last night, and so much more here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Glad you guys are able to join us for a lot of fun on today's recap of not just what happened over the weekend, but what happened last night at the RCAs, because golly, what an absolute wonderful time for so many different people, hundreds of the greatest in sports from around the area, whether they're coaches, players, faculty members, or if they're a part of the news, all came together in Mars Music Hall last night to celebrate all that is great within North Alabama when it comes to all sports, high school, college, professional, whichever you want. We had it last night on a showcase at Mars Music Hall. And Joe, I got to admit, man, it was a very fun night, always very stressful to set up. And I don't know if a lot of people understand this, but this is the funniest thing. I thought about it last night before I was falling asleep because it took me an hour and a half. It's a bunch of radio guys putting on a live show in person. And that, I think, is the funnest part about it. We come together, we think of what ideas we could do to make this thing special, and then we put it into play. And then we stand up on stage out of most of our guys' comfort zones, and we tell people, awards. We go for it. And, yeah.
I like the way he said, yeah, we just go for it. We just go for it, yeah. We just go for it. It's just whatever. Let's just kick it in and just see what we can have fun with right here.
I mean, that's most of what it is. I mean, it is really just like, the Lee band, having the general band there, the Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder.
That was something that was just randomly brought up in a meeting. I don't even know. It was just like 2 of us kind of threw it together, and then we were just like, that'd be a great idea. And then little did we know, I thought it was more of a thought process instead of actually thinking about, a drum line within a very small concealed building maybe that was thrown out the window.
It's a music hall.
It is a music hall, though. You'd think it would be great.
I mean, that's what that venue was built for.
But it was definitely loud. And I think everybody had the same idea. It was like, wow, that is really loud. But then I was thinking, wow, this is really cool. Like, my heart was like pounding for the rest of the night after that halfway point, because it was like halftime. The drum line came out. They started hitting the drums, hitting the syllables. Are those what those metal things are called? Syllables?
Symbols. Yeah,
that's
symbols.
Good. I'm glad
you're
the music teacher.
Yeah,
here.
you know me and my music background. All that music I was good at doing.
No wind chimes, no none of those. No guitars, no nothing. It was drums and cymbals. And it was absolutely electrifying having the Keith Butler come out there. And there was a great interview on Talking Ball this morning with Keith Butler, of course, the former Seahawk, Pittsburgh Steelers defensive coordinator, went to Lee High School. And that right there was one of those amazing, very special, connected moments right there. I think when he came back, Joe, you told me, did you tell me, or was it Scott? Whenever he came back after he did his little speech, he gave like knuckles or a handshake to all of the band members.
That wasn't me. No, with me, with Keith, it was crazy because again, this was my first Rocket City Awards. Yeah. So I was just kind of going in going, all right, I don't know what all's happening here. Like, I'm going to fill in whatever gaps I need to. And with Keith, I didn't know his history, like everybody else that had, nominated him for it. And I had no clue that, his history with the Steelers, again, just with, me personally.
And the Browns.
With the Steelers.
I can't tell you how happy I was to put in that little thing about the Browns returning.
I was just like, of course you bring that up. But the very moment that I saw it, as the package was playing, I texted Ramon Foster because he was the defensive coordinator while Ramon was playing O-line.
That's true.
So I was like, I sent him a picture. I was like, hey, we're nominating, or we're honoring somebody from that you may know. And Ramon hit me back during it, and he went, "Butts." He says, what a cool dude, and he's one of the greatest humans ever. And I said, he's such a nice guy. And he goes, and a trash-talking menace as a play caller.
Wow.
And so I went and I said, look, I just saw some of his game film, and dude was a dog. Like, Ramon and I are texting about the man as he's like walking up on stage. And I went back afterwards and I showed him the text messages, and I was like, hey, Ramon wanted me to tell you hello. And he just started smiling and went, yeah. We had some times. Like, it was one of those, like, it was like he automatically went back to all those seasons. Like, you could see it like flipping his head of him thinking about it. And so, no, that was cool because, again, I learned something.
Yeah.
There's some of these that last year, like when I was, I wasn't a part of it last year. I hadn't came back to the radio station yet, but, the thing with Kimbrel, like, that one, I knew everything, or I knew a lot. But with this, I knew nothing. And so it was cool to see, and it was cool to learn about as the night went along.
Yeah, and I think that's the best part about it is just learning so much about all of these different players and coaches. And again, I mean, this is a guy that we're talking about, and Keith Butler, who was able to make James Harrison one of the grittiest, one of the nastiest defensive players, also one of the best players on that side of the ball, future Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. But starts out as a guy on the practice squad. And then I love the way the video works is it shows him whenever he's like young and in college. And then the next picture is just him, just like, he's a beast. He looks like Godzilla running out of the field. And I'm just like, I can't believe Keith Butler had a role in bringing this guy up to being one of the craziest dogs.
Oh, absolutely.
In all of football.
Oh no, it was his coaching when he was with the Steelers. Like, that is part of it. I think that's the other thing about this city and this community is hyping up the local players and the local guys that have the history that, again, I didn't know. I had no idea at all. If you would have told me Keith Butler, I would have never known. And again, I literally just worked with a guy that was obviously on the other side of the football, that I worked with a guy for 4 years that has tons of stories about him. I had no idea. Had no clue. So, like, those parts of it, I really love that aspect of the way that part of the evening was able to go, because for even people that are obviously younger than I am, younger than you are, that are sitting there out there, was, possibly about to win an award, they knew nothing about him, and they got to see it, yet they knew about Some of them knew about the Steelers winning the Super Bowl. They remember that Super Bowl 40. They remember, the Bettis playing in Detroit, the Seahawks, like they remember that, but they don't know that part of the story. And so for them to see that was cool.
And I'm also one to critique our own shows because that's the thing that goes through our minds.
You're not going to bring up the mistakes, right? Please.
No. There's one though.
Thank you.
It was Reed Blankenship. Joe, I'm pretty sure we only saw him win one Super Bowl. Am I wrong? Am I wrong on that? Was the voice guy a little bit off on that one? I heard that once or twice, and it took me a little bit. Did he only win one Super Bowl? He's been to two, right?
Yeah, he's been to two. Yeah, because he wasn't a part of the Philly special.
No, definitely
he
not.
wasn't a part of that.
That was a minute ago.
No, he's played in two Super Bowls.
Okay.
Because the Eagles lost to the Chiefs the first go round, and then they won this previous year.
Gotcha.
So they lost in Arizona, but they won this year in New Orleans.
That's one thing me and Brody, all right, one of our newer guys here, we're talking about, and it just like goes back and forth. Brody's not a fan of good old Blankenship just because I think he's a fan of a different team. And
as in like because of the Eagles or because of the high school side of this?
I think it's mainly because of the Eagles.
Okay,
right? I don't think Brody has any bad blood towards him, like personally.
Again, that's why I was asking.
I think it's just a football rivalry type of thing. But still getting to see Blankenship's video come in and it being special and him throwing out the Go Birds at the end. Like it was just, there was so many things to remember from last night, and it's just going to take us a little bit. But of course, Joe, for me and you and the rest of the crew, we're going to think a lot more about the minor mistakes, the things that we can improve upon moving forward. And I'm looking forward to improving it because it is such a wonderful event.
No, it is. And I think that there are ways that obviously this is only the third annual one. And this was my first one that I was just sitting there just joking around about stuff with like Steve, and I could see him go, "Oh, it's actually not a bad idea. Like we may even want to think about
exactly."
Again, that's just how my mind works.
The band thing came out as like, oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be funny.
But it was
it was good.
And then it was absolutely tremendous. But that was one of those that obviously this is going to grow. I still believe that we need somebody to do the roast at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Look, that's just me. Like it is. Not me as in doing it, although I would be absolutely tremendous. I might also piss a bunch of people off, but I mean, I could have fun with it, just to get everybody in that mindset of let's have some fun.
I think Tom's a great MC, but I gotta admit he should throw those reins to me next year.
Yeah, well,
maybe me and you a combat, but at the same time, look, everybody's trying to make things fun nowadays, and for a kid to be in a super professional, super classy environment like that, I mean, suit and tie and everything, that isn't something that happens off the. Oh
yeah, tie.
Oh yeah,
I forgot. I didn't rock a tie.
Yeah.
Look, this was a conversation on the show.
I didn't have a coat, Joe.
You didn't have a coat.
I was just chilling in a shirt with a little bow tie.
A suit and tie. When you say it's a suit and tie event, that is a description more than a declaration.
I thought you looked good, Joe.
I appreciate
you
that.
look classy.
No,
as long as you got the suit, I think that's enough.
Look, the people from the Cotton Row Run were walking out like, looks good.
But
it looks good.
But like those shoes, though, those don't look like the shoes you were.
The shoes didn't come in. The shoes didn't come in. I had to go with backups.
Damn it, Joe.
I did, man. I had some white Air Force Ones.
That's
they're
funny.
still on the way. I'll probably like rock them for SEC Media Days or something. I mean, I got to wear them at some point in time. But yeah, no, shoes never came in, man. I did. I went around the entire house, the whole subdivision. The mail lady was actually at the mailboxes putting all the mail in whenever I pulled up into our subdivision, because in ours we've got all the mail in the very front of the subdivision, and I'm walking in and they have little boxes down at the very bottom that's supposed to be for the partial boxes, like, oh, here's your key, you put it in your mailbox and you can open this up. I went through every single one of them looking for anything that would look like a shoebox. I was like, okay, maybe this is it, because she had them all open because she's putting the mail in. I go to our front door and I look to see if there's a shoebox there. I go to the back door for some reason. Why they would go to the back door? No reason, but I'm just looking in there and I'm going, dang it. Got to go with the backup pair.
No shoes.
No.
At least you had a backup pair. I didn't have a backup coat.
Yeah, I had to go.
Yeah.
I had a backup pair just because I said, you know what, man, we are cutting this way too close, and I do not want to be sitting here on Sunday night and I don't have a backup pair ready. So I got the backup pair ready to go, and we were good whenever I got there. But no, the tie part of a suit and tie event is not meaning that you actually wear a tie. It means you dress up and you look professionally nice. That's what that means.
It's one good way of putting it.
It's the way it means.
Either way, we cap
Yes.
off our Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards. And this show, on the other hand, is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. And you might definitely need to do that to fill out your free quote, because it's supposed to rain today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week.
Yep. So if you have any holes in your roof, you may want to put some buckets down just in case you need to catch some water.
Or just get Fleming on it, because they'll do the job. They always show up. Now, somebody who needed buckets or maybe a dome over the weekend, in the last few days actually, was LSU, as they were facing off against UCLA in Omaha. And look, it was wet there all weekend long, it seemed like.
That game hasn't even finished yet.
That game is going to get back and going in Omaha at 10 Central Time.
How is that the one you start off with?
Well, it's because it was a transition from Fleming to this one. But I wanted to also go back because Oregon State versus Coastal Carolina, this one, the rain really did play a factor because the entire field was moist. It was wet. People were sliding all over the place.
Yeah,
it was
Beavers.
It was resulting in some mistakes. And that's what happened with the Beavers as they lose to Coastal Carolina. Now they are still in it. They will be facing off against Louisville, who won against Arizona in the elimination bracket.
They didn't just win, man. They ripped Arizona's heart out.
I don't think – look, Arizona was that odd team out. All right? That's what it seemed like. It was Arizona or Murray State. They probably don't need to be there, but they were good enough to get there as those last two teams in.
I've been in these shoes before, but to see the way that Louisville had like an 8-run 8th inning, and to see Arizona's pitcher go off the mound, go into the dugout, and he just sits there, and he has that look on his face. Like, it's not a upset look. It's not an angry look. It's not a sad look. It is like a disbelief. And the camera just kept going to him. And all he was doing, you could just see him staring straight ahead like, I can't believe this just happened.
Yeah, it all fell apart in the end.
I cannot believe this just happened. And every single pitch, they go like right back to him, and he's still just sitting there going, I can't believe, like, what happened? Like, it was total disbelief. It was the saddest thing that you could absolutely see, because it wasn't like he wasn't crying. He wasn't throwing things. He was just sitting there just, what happened?
It was the total opposite thing what we saw from Gage Wood, who ended up throwing a no-hitter.
Where you start. That's the
obviously
one you start with.
We're gonna get into it. I mean, look, it was a no-hitter. He did end up hitting two players actually, but one of them leaned into it. I don't think he did. That was kind of a BS call right there. But at the same time, you could make it a point for it. But he hit another player. He walked. It's whatever. He went 9 innings. 19 strikeouts.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about elite against a team that is known for their offense. This was not the concern for Murray State, was the way that their offense would work. They thought that they would be able to at least get a few runs in. They would be fine on that point of it. No. And I will say, both teams, they represent offense on this year. Neither of them really showed out this game.
You see it in like MCU movies, and you see it whenever you're watching some obviously like your Venoms. I just finished watching The Crow the other night, and I still showed that.
The new Crow, yeah.
It's the new Crow. It's not as good. It's obviously nowhere close to the original.
Mm-hmm.
It really should have just been like The Crow 4 or whatever it is. If you'd done it like that, it'd been great. Like you see sometimes where the guy's just eyes just go totally black. Like there's no pupil. Like the entire eye just turns black.
Might need to go to the doctor for that one.
That was Gage Wood at one point in time in that game. Like you could see just I don't want to call it rage, but just you could see it in his mind through his eyes that it was one that obviously you cannot say what it is that he was thinking on the air, but it was basically what the Tennessee pitcher said whenever he was about to step on the mound. That was what Wood was saying in his head when he was on the mound yesterday. He was just looking at the batter. And he's like, you are so screwed.
It was interesting.
I mean, you were so like that. I love that stuff.
He was completely locked in. And that's something you could tell from those camera shots in the dugout. The camera shots itself, having that camera right in front of your face while you have to wait a little bit of time to get back on the mound, that right there is like amplified pressure for a normal person, let alone a college player. Gage Wood let none of that affect him. And he went on to pitch 109 pitches. 83 of those were strikeouts.
Well, in some of those with Wood, like the one shot that zoomed in on his eyes after the Murray State player had called timeout, and you see the darkness in the eyes. And I mean, seriously, it was absolutely terrifying. The next pitch wasn't a fastball. Like, that's the other thing. In a situation like that, you think that you're going to go like what your classic closer would do, where you just rear back and try to fire 104. Like, that's what you're doing. No, he broke one off the table. Like, it wasn't one of those. Like, he had the anger, he had the focus, he had all the stuff that you look for in a man that's in that situation, that you know, kind of in a zone is what you want to call it. But he also had the know-how to say, I need to still control this pitch. Like, I'm not going to overthrow it. I'm not going to do anything. Like, that is special. Like, that is the reason why he's projected as a first-round draft pick.
No doubt about it. We got a lot of conversations to continue with. Also, the Stanley Cup gets closer and closer to the end. Joe,
Shut your mouth.
I'm scared that it might all come to an end tonight.
I just need to know who's in goal. Can you tell me who's in goall? That's what I need to know.
I would say Skinner is probably going to be in goal.
Here's the
and
problem.
I know he wasn't starting last game, but I don't think that was the right move.
Here's the issue with this. Skinner right now is 7-6 in these playoffs, and Pickard is 7-1. How do you go against the 7-1?
Are you talking about 7-1 in the postseason, or
in the postseason total? Like, this is the part people don't realize, because again, you're focusing on the whole playoffs. I mean, you're focusing on the final, not just the whole playoffs. They've split starts through this whole tournament. Like that, it's not just, oh, Pickard came in whenever the team after Skinner had given up 3 goals and then they automatically pulled him. No, he started a bunch of games himself. So that's where this, part of this 7-1 record that he has right now, like, to me, you're almost have to stick with Pickard. Like, that's my way looking at it, because of how good he has been consistently through the playoff. This is also something that never happens. Like, people need to understand this as well, that this is the craziest thing when it comes to the Stanley Cup final. Teams do not change goalies. They don't change goalies during the playoffs. You go with G1. You never think about G2 unless it's a blowout. Like when Skinner was getting blown out or Pickard was getting blown out, you're like, hey, just go ahead and let's swap this up. Like one of those. You never swap goalies. Yet here we are, and Edmonton's looking at their 2 going, all right, which one of you is going to get us to game 7? Because whoever gets us to game 7 gets the right to start game 7.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, at this point, definitely. And this game right here is a must win, because first off, Panthers will win the Stanley Cup if they get this one at home. On top of that, if the Oilers get this one, even if it's 1-0, I don't think it will be. I think it'll be closer, maybe like a 4-3. Watch that be the actual score. They'll go into game 7 in Edmonton. Crowd is going to be bonkers. Who knows what people will be showing in the stands. And on top of that, I think that they would be able to have that momentum to get the best of the Panthers. But there's a lot more we have to get into. On top of that, we will be talking with a very special guest that we only get on a few times a season, during the season. It's James Larson from a PFN Newsroom, and he is going to be talking a little bit about the UFL Championship, recapping a little bit of the season and telling us which players we might be seeing on the NFL level come the 2025 season. So I'm very excited for that conversation and a lot more throughout this Tuesday. It's weird. Tuesday
Yeah, it's
edition
weird for us.
of the Blitz, which is also marked as the second Tuesday edition. Did you play? Was the best stuff yesterday a Tuesday show?
Yeah, it was a Tuesday show. It was last Tuesday show, mainly because a lot of the things that we talked about last Tuesday were actually still relevant today.
Sorry if they called in.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was also something that, I mean, no joke. We had our walkthrough like at 9 a.m. and I worked on that at like 8:45. So there's a reason why it was. You were like, wait a second, today's not Tuesday. Yeah. That was yesterday. This is a live Tuesday show.
This one is. See, you can you can touch me.
I don't want to.
And also you can call into the phone line.
That you can do. 256-576
or
977. John, this is going to be all you when we come back.
All good.
Yeah,
James Larson from PF Newsrooms joining us next here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WZZN TV, and ESPN Winchester. Got him.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workforce special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Warm and humid as we head into the overnight. Early into your Wednesday morning, temperatures only drop into the lower 70s. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky. Wednesday afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. Isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast through a good majority of the afternoon as we head into the early part of the evening. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Temperatures in the mid 80s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long. Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
I'm all in my bag. It's hard as to get. I do not start powder. I might take a sip. I might hit the cup, but I'm liable to trip. I ain't
Continuing along on the Blitz on this Tuesday, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WZZN TV, ESPN Winchester. Doesn't matter where you're watching and or listening. You can always give us a call at 256-576-4977 as we continue on this Tuesday. Just realize that also big series happening between the Mets and the Braves. It is odd to say that in June this could be the Atlanta Braves season, but they host the Mets for a 3-game set against the number 1 team in the NL East. And the Braves need to win 2 or 3 of these, maybe even sweep the Mets just to start getting back on the right track. Spencer Schwellenbach going to be on the hill for the Braves. David Peterson going to be on the hill for the Mets. 6:15 first pitch is where you will be able to watch that on the, I almost called it Bally, but it's FanDuel Sports Network.
We're blessed to not have to deal with Bally
now
anymore.
I got to say FanDuel. Or you can listen to it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
No doubt about that, Joe. But I have something more important to talk about right now because I don't know if anybody knows this, but the football season has officially come to a close. That's right. We are halfway through summer almost, and the football season has just ended. And joining us right now is a guy to talk about that football season coming to an end, and it's James Larson from PF Newsroom. James, good to have you on, brother. Yeah, the line on that game, the over-under was supposed to be like 52. I think DC had 52 going into the third, man. How did Vegas get this game wrong by so much?
You know, I think Vegas was expecting it to be a high-scoring game, but they certainly weren't expecting it to be a high-scoring game. I mean, there was basically no defense play the entire night. But when you have the 2 best offenses going at it, when you've got the best passing offense on one end in D.C. against the worst passing defense in the Michigan Panthers, that's the end result that you get. 52 points heading into the fourth quarter. It was a shellacking.
No doubt about it. And 31 of those points for the D.C. Defenders came in the second quarter. And, of course, this is the championship game we're talking about. It was in St. Louis. How you were actually at the location, correct?
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that atmosphere because it's not the same as the NFL. It's definitely not the same as college football, but it is somewhere in the middle, I would say. Talk a little bit about how it was for this second UFL championship game without the Birmingham Stallions a part of it.
Yeah, it's an interesting atmosphere because the last 2 seasons the championship has been in St. Louis, which obviously the St. Louis Battlehawks play there, and they have a tremendous fan base. By far, get the biggest crowds of any team in the league. But this is the second straight season where their team has not been a part of it. This is the second straight year where their team actually lost in the playoffs the game prior and could not make it to the championship. So, with that in mind, the crowd really was not that big. There were definitely some diehard fans that came out. I was impressed with the amount of DC fans that traveled out to the game alongside the Michigan Panthers fans. But when the game's in St. Louis, which is, 8-9 hours away from Michigan and DC, you can't expect too many people to come out when it's not the Super Bowl, right? I mean, the UFL is still kind of in its growing stage. The amount of fans that you have in a league like this is so much smaller compared to what the NFL has. So the environment was rather interesting. I'll say that. There was times where it got a bit loud. It got entertaining from a fan standpoint, but definitely more to be desired from that end of things, sure.
No doubt about that. And I saw the attendance list. I mean, it was around 27,000. It wheedled down a little bit, and I think that's mainly because of the way the game went. But on TV, I mean, it was averaging around 1 million views. So there's people watching this sport And that's because there's talented players within these teams. Talk about some of these guys that you've seen throughout the season that we might be seeing on the NFL level next year.
Well, you got to talk about both quarterbacks, right? I mean, these guys were the two stars of the show. Bryce Perkins on Michigan's side, he was a Triple Crown winner. He was on the All-UFL list. He won Offensive Player of the Year, and he won the league MVP. And on the other side, you had the DC Defenders quarterback, Jordan Tiamu, who kind of felt like he was snubbed for some of those awards, and then he went out and threw for 390 yards and 5 touchdowns against a Michigan secondary that had 0 answers for him, and he ended up winning the championship and also championship game MVP. I think these are two guys that are both ready to be in the NFL. Jordan Tiamu's shown plenty of growth the last couple of years. In his time in spring football, he's been a really good quarterback for DC. And this year, once again, he led the league in almost every passing category, led the league in touchdown passes with 17. This was a guy that really found his groove this year, and I think an NFL team would do themselves a service by at least bringing him to camp. And on the other side, look, Bryce Perkins, I know he lost the championship game, but there's a reason why he was the league MVP. What he can do in the pocket, the way he can elude tackles and get away from pressure, he's a guy that I could absolutely see landing maybe in a spot like Baltimore where they're looking for a quality backup. And, hey, maybe bring in a guy like Perkins. DC as well, I mean, their offensive weapons were so good this year. You got Cornell Powell, formerly a Chiefs draft pick. He led the league in receiving touchdowns with 7. He was unguardable all year. On Michigan's side of things, their wide receiver Malik Turner was really good. That's a guy with the NFL vet. He actually played in 44 NFL games in his career. So those are some guys that I'd expect being back, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun offseason.
No doubt about it. James Larson from the PF Newsroom joins us talking all things UFL and what you're going to be getting into following the conclusion of everything the UFL has for this past season. But Michigan came into this game, and they were actually 3-point favorites. And of course, that kind of got busted wide open in that second quarter. But why was this the case? For teams that had the same record, I believe, going into this matchup, that had the same struggles throughout the season, and for a Michigan team that did a great job against Birmingham after they lost both of those games against that Stallion squad during the regular season, but found a win against them in the postseason. And then on the flip side, of course, DC winning against the Battlehawks to get into the championship game. Why were the Panthers favorited in this one?
Well, Michigan, I think, was favored because of Bryce Perkins and him being the MVP and just what Michigan has been able to do this year offensively when he's healthy. They've been unstoppable. Because you look at a couple of their losses this season, they were games where either 1, Bryce Perkins didn't play, or 2, he split time with Danny Etling. For the first 5 weeks or so of the season, Coach Mike Nolan was splitting time between Perkins and Etling because he believes that he can win with both quarterbacks, and he has won with both quarterbacks. But I think the answer became pretty clear that Bryce Perkins was the guy. But then the last 3 weeks of the year, Perkins was dealing with an ankle injury, so he did not play. So I think kind of that factor and seeing how Bryce played last week against Birmingham and seeing really how this Michigan offense played last week when they put up 44 points. And like you said, they took care of business against the Stallions. It's the first ever win in modern spring league history.
Wow.
So for them to come out and kind of just be flat was a bit surprising. But the big takeaway for me from this game was Michigan's defensive issues. They've lost a couple of their starting cornerbacks heading into this game, and you could tell. I mean, they could not guard a paperclip out there. It was disastrous. There were misalignments, missed assignments, that entire defensive front, back end, you name it, they did not play up to the standard that is Michigan Panthers football, and DC took advantage of that. They grabbed momentum and they didn't look back, and next thing you know, they dropped 58 points on the Panthers' head.
Oh, yeah, they did, and it hit hard. But one thing I wanted to point out, because I was watching the game, and I noticed something very interesting. And the UFL is all about exploring opportunities, new ideas that could go into the NFL, and also just maybe push viewership on their side. But Deion Jackson, a running back for the DC Defenders, had this circle on his jersey. And I thought for a second, I was like, what is that? Is it like one of those things that checks, the statistics, all of that? Was that a camera that he had on the chest of his jersey?
Yes. That is one of the things that the UFL has done this year is the chest cam, which has been really fun to see. There's been running backs and linebackers and most of those key players kind of in the middle of the field wearing it, which has been, just gives the fans another look into what happens on the field. And there's been some really neat angles. We've gotten to see running backs from the chest cam running into the end zone, We've gotten to see linebackers hitting the A gap and just blowing somebody up in the backfield. It's been fun. So that's the type of stuff that the UFL, they embrace, right? This is a league of innovation and opportunity, and they're always trying to bring something new, a new perspective, a new type of experience for the fan. And I think it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it's something cool. It reminds me of how 2K was doing stuff differently when they had their Madden or their NFL game back in 2005. They did the helmet cam, which you could play the game within the player's helmet, and it's just a different perspective. We don't get to see that very much, and to have it on the chest, it's definitely interesting. I feel like it'd be covered up a majority of the time, especially by a running back. But there's also got to be the concern that the camera might get shattered instantly by a helmet to the chest. I have no idea how it all functions. Do you got any idea? Because you're a camera guy yourself.
I mean, the way that they have it set up, it's a pretty safe setup for the camera for the most part. It is kind of protected within the I believe the shoulder pads is what it's kind of hooked up to. Okay. So the camera itself is relatively protected, but I know they have backup. So if something happens to the camera, they could stick another one in there, no problem.
Oh, it's like Tony Stark having his heart, being able to take it out, put it back in, all of that stuff. It's definitely interesting.
You know what the funniest thing about that is, John, is the players, whoever ends up wearing it, they have to rip a little hole in the jersey. That way the camera can fit through and get attached.
Yeah.
But I noticed throughout the season that they weren't giving these players new jerseys. So whoever wore the camera one week, I see them next week back on the field, and their jersey just had a little hole in it.
No
just
way.
a little nice little circle hole. So hopefully next year they can get these guys some new jerseys if they end up wearing the camera.
That is definitely intriguing information from you, James Larson, PF Newsroom. And real quick before we get you out of here, man, I mean, are there any other players that you saw throughout this season who were able to finish off on a strong cue that might be seeing the NFL this offseason? Maybe there's some special kickers out there. That's one thing the UFL has definitely found success with bringing up to the NFL level.
I'm glad that you brought that up because, kickers have been one of the strong suits for the spring football scene, right? You remember your guy, Brandon Aubrey, going to the NFL a couple of years ago. Now he's with the Cowboys, and he's been tremendous. But the St. Louis Battlehawks, Rodrigo Blankenship, Hot Rod, if you remember him, he was with the Indianapolis Colts for a few years. Yeah. Respect the specs. He had a great season with the St. Louis Battlehawks. He was 20 of 21. His only miss was from 58 yards, and that just barely hit off the crossbar. He had a very, very good year. I expect someone like him to be back on an NFL roster. He actually already had a workout with the Giants and the Jets, so we'll see if anything comes of that. And Birmingham also had a really good kicker this year, Harrison Mevis. Once again, he's a guy that was very, very accurate. I think his only miss was from 63 yards. And then he did miss a 56-yard in the playoffs. But this is a guy, he's got a huge leg. They call him the thicker kicker. If you don't know what I mean by that, you just got to look him up, and you'll see what I mean.
I know the thicker kicker.
I figured as much. I mean, it's hard not to know the thicker kicker. So, speaking of kickers, Birmingham, St. Louis, I'd say those guys definitely will be in NFL camps throughout the year. And just speaking of talent around the team, around the league, DC and Michigan, we kind of talked about it, but they have so many talented guys on both sides of the ball. Defensively, the DC defenders, I don't think anybody rushed the passer better than they did. Derek Roberson, Andre Mintz are a couple guys that have been with this team the last couple of years, but they end up being two of the leaders in sacks this year. I'd expect them to be back in NFL camps. Arlington, their wide receivers were really underrated this year. Tyler Vaughns, I don't know if you watched much of him, but he had a tremendous second half of the season. He was making acrobatic circus catches basically every game the last final 5 weeks. So I expect guys like that to be in the camp as well. And we'll see. There's plenty. I think that what's so fun about spring football is there's just several guys who can be like, yeah, this guy's going back to the NFL. And then there's also a bunch of guys who are like, you know what? I wasn't expecting it, but I can see why the NFL brought him back or gave him their first opportunity. So that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to watching all that unfold.
No doubt. I didn't think I'd be hearing too much about Harrison Mavis, past his time at Mizzou, because he was a part of that squad that actually got me into liking this team just a little bit more, the Mizzou Tigers. So to see that he's having a successful time in the UFL is great to hear. But for you, James, I mean, moving forward past this, what are you going to be getting into as we're getting closer to the NFL? Are there any other leagues still going on that we should maybe turn on?
There are plenty of leagues. I mean, I can only do so much, but there's some awesome football out there, alternative football. If football fans are out there and you don't want to wait for the NFL, you've got the CFL, which has kicked off up there in Canada, and there's always some great talent there. The ELF, the European League of Football, they're heading into their 5th season, and they've got a lot of talent over there. They've got some great coaches as well. Lots of really talented players. So that's a league that's a lot of fun. And if you're into arena football, I think there's probably like 3 or 4 different leagues now of arena football in the States. So they're always popping up. There's new teams, new leagues popping up. There's always places to watch football. So if you're a true football diehard, this is a golden age for you. There's plenty of options.
No doubt. And where are they able to get all that news and information, man?
Yeah, if you check out a Pro Football Newsroom, which is who I work for, pfnewsroom.com, you can find basically anything all football related. We primarily focus on the UFL, but there's plenty of things coming out about arena football, the ELF, all that good stuff you can find over there.
Great stuff. As always, James, appreciate you hopping on with us, giving us a little bit of information. Did you have a wonderful time, or was it just like I see that there's some things that we can get better for the UFL championship game? Because I know you even went to media days, and I need to know how the media days was for you.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you sit back and reflect. And one, I'm grateful to be in the position that I am. I love spring football. You know me. I'm a diehard.
No.
But I think it's definitely, I can't just sit here and glaze the league. I mean, there are plenty of things that they need to address. I think attendance is a big one, right? I mean, that was a big discussion throughout the year, looking at some of these markets and some of these stands, and you're like, man, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be something that's really important for this league moving forward into the 2026 season. You need fans. You need people in the stands, and in the sense of, one, it looks better for you on TV, because there's a lot of people that tune in and they're like, oh, like, why are there only 500 people in the stands? Like, I don't really want to watch this. But then you tune into a St. Louis Battlehawks game and there's 30,000 people there, and it's electric, and it feels like you're watching an NFL game or a big college game. So for the league, marketing is going to be a big thing, and I think they need to invest more into the grassroots, kind of the local cities and the markets that they're in, because that's where you'll see the growth. So I'm excited to see how they address that, and hopefully we see a bit more better attendance, because 7 of the 8 markets dropped in attendance this year. So that's definitely something that needs to be looked at moving forward.
Yeah, definitely something to look into. Looking forward to seeing the changes that are going to be coming going into next season. Going to be the 3rd one for the UFL. Kind of crazy already. But James, always great stuff hearing from you, and looking forward to it again, man.
Absolutely, John. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Good stuff. James Larson from Pro Football Newsroom. Go and check him out at pfnewsroom.com. Joe, I know you haven't been following the UFL. It came to an end. There's been a lot of sports to be watching, so it has been hard for them to get the fans going. But I will say, I watched a little bit of the championship game, and as always, I mean, football's intriguing, and there is some talent actually on the field.
256-576-977 as we wrap up the first hour of the Blitz next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WCZN TV, and ESPN Winchester.
I'll get you one day, Joe. I'll get you one day.
No.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Braves and Mets meet at Truist Park today. The Atlanta Braves has Spencer Schwalbenbach on the mound. He's an $1.37 favorite against David Peterson of the Mets, 5-2, a 2.49 earned run average. Mets plus 112 of the money line. The Mets have dropped 3 straight. They are minus 165 to win the National League East Division title. Braves are 30-1. NHL Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 tonight. Florida Panthers can win their 2nd straight cup with a win over Edmonton. Panthers $1.55 favorite. Edmonton plus 130. 6.5 under the total at Emirates Bank Arena. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bono's Land.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing too. Hey folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a Bronco Sport? It's employee priced, and we've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New shipments of Explorer, Expedition, and Escape have just hit the ground, too. Again, all things must come to an end, and the last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to hit it and get it. Employee pricing can save you up to thousands off MSRP. With over 600 Fords to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find exactly what you need. Woody Anderson Ford. It's important to see us before July 7th.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
And Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman, a partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the early part of the evening. That activity comes to an end as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop into the lower 70s. Much the same for your Wednesday, a partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Tom Abraham Show, weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WCZN TV.
Final segment of the first hour. John Abraham, Joe Hunk with you on a beautiful looking Tuesday here in North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, which phone line's still open to you up in Winchester, Tennessee, and that area. 256-576-9777, the number to get in. And Joe, I know you have an interesting conversation to get into. And I'm scared, though, that we're not going to be able to bring over the Winchester listeners into the second hour. So they need to make sure they're downloading our apps or watching us over on WZZN TV.
Yeah, and the reason for that is if you missed it, Bussin' with the Boys, which I love Taylor Lewan's. Bussin'. He is absolutely an absolutely amazing guy. And him and Will Compton do this tremendous show, and it's obviously based out of Nashville. And they had Diego Pavia on their podcast. Podcast is cool. Bussin' with the Boys. They obviously do it in the back of a school bus that they have, like in, just
it's bussin'.
It's a pretty fun thing. And the way that it's so chill, the way they have it. But Diego Pavia was on. And if you are listening, obviously on ESPN Winchester, this is a little something, as long as this plays, that Diego had to say during that episode that just dropped.
Vanderbilt's going to run Tennessee after this year. Like, this is going to be the new staple of, like, college football is going to happen here at Vanderbilt. We're in Nashville, Tennessee. We're in the music city. Like, we need to be the brand of Tennessee. Everyone wants to come to Tennessee because of Nashville. So they want to come to Nashville, so Vanderbilt. And then when we have, like, the most money in NIL, like, why not come here? So, like, we literally just have to win this year and throughout the rest of the year. It'll take care of itself.
We just have to win every single game this year and the rest of the years.
The NIL's great. Everything's awesome. The dub is the big key to this.
Yeah. Also, you're not Nashville University. You're Vanderbilt.
But I'll also tell you, there's a lot of what he just said in that's not wrong. We'll continue when we come back.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Owens Crossroads, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 326 Sutton Road very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Owens Crossroads.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, We're here to help.
John Abraham here from the Blitz. Look, I love a good party. So why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available. So don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Braves and Mets meet at Truist Park today. The Atlanta Braves has Spencer Schwalmenbach on the mound. He's an $1.37 favorite against David Peterson of the Mets, 5-2, a 2.49 earned run average. Mets plus 112 of the money line. The Mets have dropped 3 straight. They are minus 165 to win the National League East Division title. Braves are 30-1. NHL Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 tonight. Florida Panthers can win their second straight cup with a win over Edmonton. Panthers $1.55 favorite. Edmonton plus 130. 6.5 under the total at Emirates Bank Arena. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Warm and humid as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. Temperatures only drop into the lower 70s. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky. Wednesday afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast through a good majority of the afternoon as we head into the early part of the evening. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Temperatures in the mid-80s.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour. 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WCCN TV. He is John Abraham. I'm Joel Hunk. Welcome into the Blitz on this Tuesday. And as we continue throughout the Tuesday, obviously always paying attention to the weather. It is already dark outside. We are supposed to have a lot of rain throughout the day. And let's hope it doesn't happen. But just in case you need that roofing, there's trucks all over my subdivision, man. There are trucks everywhere. People getting those roofs fixed. Roofs. They were getting them fixed.
They're getting fixed by the guys who do it best,
which is Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online. FlemingHSV.com is the place to find them. Fill out your free quote today, and remember that Fleming always shows up. Similar to UCLA and LSU as they continue play starting right now on ESPN2. So go and take a little look at that once this show wraps up, or do it at the same time. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm listening to the show, talking to you, and right above me, I'm watching LSU versus UCLA.
You're telling me they would much rather have First Take on ESPN than what they would?
Well, they got to have the regular scheduled morning programming, Joe.
Screw that. I don't need to care about the Pacers and Thunder. Nobody cares.
That's why ESPN2 is a thing, though.
It is.
And then what's going on ESPNU? You? Oh, they're looking at college basketball.
Oh,
what are they doing?
ESPN2 is where it is, though. UCLA, LSU. Game is at the top of the fourth inning right now. LSU is leading 5-3. This is the winner's bracket of the second bracket 2. So this is going to be the winner of this is going to advance to the championship of this bracket, where UCLA is going to have to face the winner of yesterday's game between Arkansas and Murray State, which, if you missed, was Arkansas, because Arkansas threw a no-hitter and Gage Wood just absolutely went into another universe and went straight beast mode.
Oh, he definitely
on
did.
The mounds. Struck out 19, had a perfect game going into the 8th inning, ends up with the third no-hitter in College World Series.
He just had to hit a guy. You know, his arm just had to get a little bit tired. He had to accidentally hit a dude.
So, John, fun John Abraham game.
Wait.
What
the heck was that?
That was ruined.
It's on my browser.
It's okay.
Just give me a second. Give me a second.
It's ruined.
Who's talking? Who's talking on my browser right now? Which one is it?
It sounds like
It's
the
gone.
NCAA's
Yeah,
website.
I'm glad it told me that.
Is this where we get to play a fun John Abraham quiz game? John Abraham.
Stop, don't bastardize the theme song. I just sang. John Abraham Cruise Game. John Abraham Cruise Game. John Abraham Cruise Game.
That's right. All right. Fun John Abraham quiz game where I asked John random questions about certain events, like the facts that this was the third no-hitter in College World Series history. John.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you name the other 2 years?
Oh, no, I cannot. I mean, this has to go back to like the 50s, right? The 60s.
Well, you're in the right decade for both.
Okay, I can name the date. I don't need to name the teams that did it.
Yeah, no, you just have to name the date.
Okay.
I mean, the year. Don't you have to name the date? Like, it's not like you've got to say June 7th.
Okay, the last one was 1960.
Okay, 1960, Oklahoma State. That was Jim Wixon of Oklahoma State threw one in 1960.
Oh, good old Wixon. He really's got a rocket on him.
Was the 60s. It'd have been more like, the 70s. Yeah, no, I don't know how they talked in the 60s.
I think I got it pretty spot on.
Yeah, no, that was, I would think that the next one that you may say, depending on which one you say, may be more of that. So
I'm going to say 1958.
No, not 1958. Right decade, wrong year.
Okay. Over under.
Oh, well, if it's over, then it would only be 1959.
So is it under?
So it's got to be under.
Okay, 1953.
Under.
1951.
Under.
1950?
Thank you.
Wow.
I was about to say, there's only one more left.
They were a decade apart? That's insane. Yeah. Then they would be saying, who was the pitcher that pitched that one?
It was Jim. I think his name is pronounced Earlier.
Jim Earlier pitched with a no-hitter. He had a heater at 83 miles per hour.
Now, that was with the University of Texas. They would go on to win the College World Series in 1950.
Ooh.
So that was part A of the fun John Abraham game. By the way, 1960, Oklahoma State did not win the College World Series. That would be, would you like to guess?
Oh, who won it that year?
Yes.
I'm just gonna guess UCLA.
That would be wrong. It is the Golden Gophers of Minnesota.
Close.
Because in the 1960s, apparently the Golden Gophers were the university in college athletics. Look it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
they were the baseball university.
Football. Like, wasn't it in the 1960s when they won 3 national championships in a row? Or was it like 1930s?
Golly.
I cannot remember. I get the two. I totally thought that was 60s. It may have been 30s.
I could never see the North like actually running baseball. It just because the way that the weather does not really allow it. But back then, I guess global warming was a little bit less known. So who knows? It might have been a little bit warmer during their baseball seasons.
They actually used to play at the Huntington Bank Stadium. Minnesota did. Yeah. Or that's actually where they played now. I'm looking up their national championships. No, it was 1934, 35, and 36. I was a little bit off on that. Okay?
They play in a dome now.
They do play.
That's the thing.
They play some games in a dome, but until it gets warmer, and then they move to their outdoor baseball field. They play most of them at I believe it's US Bank. I believe is the name of it. It's where the Vikings play.
Mm-hmm.
They'll play that when it's cold during the early parts of the season when most of the teams in the North are traveling south. They can play home games there, and then they transition to that. Look, North Dakota State plays outdoor all year long. My dad randomly had to go to North Dakota State a few weeks ago, and he sent me pictures of the baseball stadium, and I went, how is that outdoors? How do you play outdoor baseball for North Dakota State in February?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know how they do it in Minneapolis either.
So
in Minnesota, in the Metrodome. I mean, even the Metrodome fell apart, and that was a dome.
No, it literally
all
fell
the
apart
snow.
thanks to snow. Here's the fun John Abraham game in which we are getting to. In 1950, Texas won the College World Series, not because of Jim earlier is no hitter.
I still just have this on college basketball, which is Alabama versus Florida. So if you guys are wanting to watch that, ESPN use the place.
Okay, so I'm going to give John an opportunity to try to name the other 7 teams that were in the College World Series in 1950.
This is a joke of a quiz,
No,
Joe.
it's a very interesting one when you see the list of teams.
All right. Back in 1960.
1950 there, my man.
1950.
We were doing the sock hop.
Give me
Texas was playing and winning the College World Series at Rosenblatt Stadium.
Doesn't sound too different from nowadays, so I might run with a lot of teams that we see today.
Okay.
UCLA.
UCLA is a no.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm screwed.
You keep picking UCLA because they're on the screen.
Minnesota.
That is also a no.
What? I thought they were running baseball.
This was 1950. Wholly different decade.
Golly. It's just going to be Oklahoma.
That's also a no.
Joe, there are 130 plus teams. And in baseball, there's like 270.
There is some, but I will tell you that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are Power Fives in 2025.
In 2025.
In 2025, they are Power 5, Power 4 conference.
How many of those teams are SEC teams?
1. Well, technically 2 if you count Texas.
Okay. Is Tennessee part of that?
No.
I'm not going to get it.
No, you're really horrible at this.
How am I supposed to guess this?
Do you want me to give you the one SEC team?
What's the other?
The 2 SEC teams.
No, Arkansas wasn't a part of it.
Nope, Arkansas. Well, again, technically, I don't even think there was an SEC at this point. No, there was. Yeah, there was an SEC at this point. The one SEC team not named that is not a current member of the SEC
Georgia.
that is in there.
Oh, wait, no.
No. Alabama.
Oh, good for Alabama.
Alabama in 1950 was playing in the College World Series. They would actually be 1-2 in that tournament.
At least they were there. At least
1-2. Okay.
They showed up. I'm surprised LSU's not even in there.
LSU's not in there.
Oh. How many Big 12 teams were there?
Well, none, because there wasn't a Big 12.
I know, but
if Texas is the only Southwestern Conference team that was in there.
But even not today, there's no Big 12 teams.
No, even today there are no Big 12 teams.
Joe, I'm going to say this: don't quiz me on every single team from the 50s that made it to the World Series.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. All right, there was a Big 10 team in there.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, it was known as the Big 9.
Oregon.
No.
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 They were.
No. Wisconsin was in
All
this. Okay. There is a Pac-12 team that is in there. This was known at the time as the Pacific Coast Conference.
And you already said it wasn't UCLA.
It was not UCLA.
Oregon State.
Close. Washington State. Close because
They're
the only team in the conference right now at that point in time. Okay, there is another Big Ten team that is a Big Ten team now. They were an independent back then. We know them as the University of New York.
Rutgers.
That is correct. Rutgers is in this as well. So Wisconsin, Washington State, Alabama, Texas, and Rutgers are in this one.
That's when you know that it's old, is when
All right.
Rutgers is actually doing stuff.
This is when you're about to know that it's old. The other three, I can almost guarantee you that I could give you 742 guesses, and you would never guess two of the three.
Do the colleges even exist anymore?
Yes.
Oh.
One of them has a name change.
Arkansas State.
No, they are still known as Arkansas State.
But they're not the Indians anymore.
No,
Back then,
they're
they would
not.
be the Indians.
Which is funny that you bring up the Indians. The Bradley Braves were playing in this College World Series in the 1950s.
Gosh.
The Bradley Braves, which also is the one team that Alabama beat in the first round. They beat them 9-2 in their first game.
Good for Bradley.
The other was
sure.
Colorado A&M.
Are they Colorado State now?
They are now Colorado State. There we
Nice.
go. That's Colorado State.
Did they have a different name? Were they the Colorado A&M Aggies?
They were the Colorado A&M Aggies. They
No,
absolutely
they
were. Yes. I mean, they're an ag school. And obviously in the 1950s, apparently if you're an ag school, you went by Aggies.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Now
good.
comes the last one.
Okay, what's up?
I could give you 1,216 opportunities to guess this school. You would never go. Matter of fact, you could probably go down a list of schools starting in A, and you would never guess this school. Don't even try. Don't. I'm not even. No, they were an independent when they made it into the College World Series back in 1950.
Okay.
They were coached by one John Ricker.
Oh.
Of the
Okay.
famous Rickers.
Okay, I think I actually know this one.
Oh, please tell me that you're going to try to guess this.
I'm going to say, give me was it the Tufts?
Okay, you had to look that up. The Tufts Jumbos. This is a legitimate school. The Tufts Jumbos. They are D3 now. And they were playing in the College World Series in 1950. It's not Tuft Jumbos because that makes sense. It is the Tufts Jumbos. And yes, their mascot is an elephant.
I didn't know there were any other elephant mascots out there. Wow. Tufts University. Would you look at that?
Tufts University.
Established in 1854.
1854. There wasn't even a radio to make fun of the radio in 1854.
Oh my gosh. What was even around? Well, you know what? We're not going to go into that.
Yo, no, we know what was around in 1854. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah. So there it is. That was the 1950 College World Series. Was Alabama, Bradley, Colorado A&M, Rutgers, Texas, Tufts, Washington State, and Wisconsin, and Texas beat Washington State for the national championship.
You know what's funny about this? Their mascot, they had a live mascot at one point.
They had a live elephant.
African bush elephant. It was a male.
Please
It
tell
was-
me it's like 4 feet tall or
It was,
something.
no, it was big. It
Okay.
was born on December 25th, Christmas, 1860, and it died on 1885. It was 24 years old. All right.
Wait, 1860 and it born in 18 and it died in
85.
1885?
Yep.
And that was their mascot?
That was their mascot.
I wonder why he only lived to be 25 years old.
Resting place. Various. Don't know what the hell that means.
What is there a tusk over here? And there's a tusk over there. You've got some of the feet somewhere else.
Joe,
some of it, like, did we
you-
turn part of its skin into a jacket?
You might be correct on that because do you want to guess the cause of death? It was premature, Joe. He wasn't supposed to die so young.
What was he? What did another elephant tusk get him in? What?
His occupation was zoo and circus attraction. And
was this like Ringling Brothers? Was this like Barnum and Bailey's very first elephant?
No, it was actually Jardin de Plantis from the London Zoo. Its cause of death was a railway accident.
Did it get run over by a train?
I think it might have been like a derailed train.
No. I mean, is it bad to want an elephant from the 1860s to be ran over by a train?
I don't think it got ran over. I think it was going on to the next circus and it blew off.
Too hard on the bus? Were the clowns just having just a little bit too much fun on the train?
How
were they rocking the train as it was going around a turn and it just went were going a little bit too fast?
You're actually more right than I was. Jumbo was hit by a locomotive.
Yes.
On No. Yes. There's a picture of him with everybody around him, just like, well, yep. There goes Jumbo.
Jumbo was ran over by a train.
Surviving fragments of Jumbo from the configuration. How do you survive?
Hate that I love this.
How are there any surviving fragments? I need to go into this story a
I
little bit deeper.
really, truly just want the train to have went straight through and you had Jumbo on one side and Jumbo on the other side. And when the train finally passed, it just split down the middle.
Dude, I don't know if he's still there, but Barnum Hall on the Tufts University campus actually had him. Just like the stuffed version of him standing. That's crazy. What a wild story to go down the loophole of for the Tufts Jumbo. They weren't so jumbo after he passed. But you know what? Their baseball team was pretty freaking good in the 50s. African bush elephant.
So here's the thing. Continuing to read into this, and this is where this is so messed up. When the Tufts named their mascot and when the Tufts named their school after Jumbo, he had already been ran over by the train.
Wow.
It says that Barnum oh my God, really is Barnum and Bailey. I was kidding. I was kidding.
Joe, only so many people owned an actual elephant back then.
I mean, you're not wrong. But yes, it says Barnum donated Jumbo's stuffed hide to Tufts College in 1889 when then it became the Tufts mascot.
Oh. Jumbo. Okay, the elephant's name spawned the common word jumbo, meaning large in size, of course. So this actually created many words like jumbo jet, jumbo eggs, jumbo shrimp, and jumbotron.
So jumbo.
Wow, this actually means it's a lot more sports than I thought from this elephant.
So the Barnum Hall is named after that Barnum, P.T. Barnum, the one, Greatest Showman, if you've ever seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful movie.
It's an amazing movie and musical. Hugh Jackman's legit in that. So Zac Efron, don't judge. But the Barnum Museum of Natural History opened in 1884, but then Barnum donated some things to the university and it was becoming the hall. This then also turned into like a museum of all of like Barnum's, of his stuff.
Gotcha. Phineas Taylor Barnum. And that's what I was reading. The Jardin des Plantis was actually the museum in London.
Over the next 8 decades, Jumbo stood in the open atrium of the hall, even as the building around him transformed into the science department and everything else.
Wow. Well, Joe, we've talked elephants a little long enough.
I can't believe that
now it's time to talk some Razorbacks as we are continuing on with the college baseball talk. Right now, LSU 5-3 in the bottom of the 4th against UCLA. We'll keep you guys up with that. But we got Otis Kirk from Hogville on the line. And when we come back, we're going to be getting into a little bit more of that historical game against Murray State when we get back here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV. Rest in peace, Jumbo!
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Owens Crossroads, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 326 Sutton Road very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Owens Crossroads.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
And now a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that never worked.
This is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock around.
WCZN TV is where you can watch the Blitz every single day, Monday through Friday from 9 to 11. John Abraham and myself with the Blitz. Michael in the chat says, did they name the 710 split after Jumbo when he was hit by the train? And he said, Tufts, by the way, is a big dental school. I found a quote just a few moments ago about the Barnum Hall and the biology professor emeritus Nancy Milburn, who worked there whenever the Jumbo elephant was in Barnum Hall, says, "Dear Jumbo, man, did he smell a bit on rainy days, but he was very popular with the students."
It's such a simple quote, but it's like, what do you think they were going to talk about back then?
Oh God, the jumbo Tufts or jumbo. Oh wait, no, the Tufts jumbos. Who would have thought that came up? And that is all because of Gage Wood.
Oh,
Yeah,
super funny.
every bit of it is the reason why that took place.
No doubt about that. But I think it's time we stop talking about the elephant, maybe talk about him later, and talk about the other elephant in the room, which is Gage Wood, of course, with the no-hitter just the other day. And to help us talk about this and so much more is Otis Kirk from hogville.net. Otis, good to have you on again, man. That means you guys are still winning.
Man, I'll tell you what, that was an exciting performance by Gage. I mean, I didn't expect it. I mean, I knew he'd pitch well. I figured he'd pitch well, but man, I mean, no, I don't think anyone envisioned just a no hitter like that and just dominated. I mean, not just no hitter, but 19 strikeouts.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that with this, it was more about the intensity, the way that he pitched. Has he always been that type of guy? Like they really focused in on the eyes, his obviously like his intensity on the mound. Has that been the case for him since he's been at Arkansas?
Yeah, he's very intense. I mean, he doesn't hide his emotions, man. He's pretty demonstrative out there on the mound. But yeah, I mean, and he was so close to a perfect game. I mean, he hit one kid on the foot and they overruled the other one, but the one he hit on the foot, I mean, that was so close to if he'd have just hit the plate or something, he might have pitched a perfect game. Man, it was just unreal to sit and watch that.
No doubt about that. And the interesting part is, when are they going to be able to use him again after 119 pitches? I mean, that's not something you take lightly and then you just go on, next week we'll throw him right back in there. How long do you think it will take for us to see Gage Wood again, if it even comes to fruition?
Yeah, well, that was Monday, and so it would be at least a week because he missed most of the season with some arm issues, elbow issues, shoulder. So he's had some issues, and that's why even after the seventh inning, I wondered if Dave was going to let him go. I mean, he's removed the pitch count, but man, I mean, 100. I didn't see. I don't know. Once he hit someone, I thought Dave might pull him, but just because of his past history of injuries, but he didn't, and I'm proud he didn't. But I would say at least very minimal a week before you see him again. I mean, he's not going to pitch. I mean, it would have to be into next week sometime. That'd be the very earliest with him because he's never pitched that many pitches, so it's hard to say. But I mean, that blew away his highest pitch count, but I would say because of his past history of injuries this season, it would be at least a very minimal week, and maybe if they could stretch it longer, it'd probably be longer than that.
Well, and now looking at this tournament as a whole, obviously you're waiting to see who's going to finish up between LSU and UCLA happening today. But go back to that game against LSU, because we talked about that the last time that we had you on. And everybody was looking up to this. Look, I know that obviously you won the game yesterday, but even going back to the LSU game, what happened in that this Arkansas team is going to say, okay, this right here, we've got to fix if we're going to see UCLA again in a couple of tomorrow?
Well, what happened against LSU? They didn't hit and they didn't get good pitching from Root. Now, Gabe Gackle was outstanding. I mean, he wasn't Zach. I mean, I'm sorry, wasn't Gage Wood good, but he was pretty dang good. But Zach just simply didn't have it starting the game, and the bat. I mean, honestly, the hitting, they got 10 hits yesterday, but they stranded 9. Yeah. The bats have got to come alive. I mean, you can get great pitching, but I mean, they only scored 3 runs yesterday, and they did have 10 hits. And Justin Thomas Jr., he had 4 hits. He went 4 for 4. And you know what? And I'm covering every pitch of the game, every second of that game, and I didn't realize he was 4 for 4 till after the game. Wow. I looked at it because it just seemed like it wasn't, but kind of my point. And, but 4 for 4 should just jump out at you, and didn't. But they're not getting clutch. And I'm not talking about Justin. I mean, he scored a run yesterday, but they're not getting clutch hits, guys. And they didn't hit the ball against LSU to worry about clutch, but they're not getting clutch hits, and the bats have got to pick it up. I guess it'd be 14 hits in 2 games, but that's not going to get, not just the way that they're not getting runs across. They score 1 run against LSU, 3 runs yesterday, 4 runs in 2 games. Your pitching can be so great that it carries you some, but eventually you got to score more runs than that. And you know, I mean, UCLA and LSU are both capable of putting up a lot of runs, especially if you're not throwing Root and you're not throwing Wood out there. Then you're going to have to mix and I think got other pitchers, Bitleshees and Aiden Jimenez. I mean, they've got other pitchers, but you're not going to expect to see them pitch like anything close to what what Wood gave them yesterday.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing, of course, the pitching is getting a lot better throughout these teams as we get closer and closer to the finals. But talk about how Arkansas could maybe push forward past that. I mean, this team is known for their bats, and same with Murray State. And both teams, honestly, they were able to hold each other to a limited few. And you even said, though, I mean, it was still 10 hits for Arkansas. It's not bad, but you can't strand those batters.
No. But the 9 left on base was the problem. The 10 hits really probably wasn't the problem as much. Well, it wasn't the problem as much as the 9 left on base. 9 left on base is just too many to leave on base because in a lot of those, I'm telling you, man, early on they were leaving people on second. They had runners on second and third, nobody out. And got 1 run in the 3rd inning. See, and you had a Logan Maxwell, and Ryder Helfrich come up. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. You've got runners on second, third, no outs, and you only get 1 run out of that. And that was because Davalon singled to knock in Robinette, who had doubled to start the inning. But Justin Thomas Jr. and Davalon got left on base, and you've got your 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up with no outs. See, that's where you've got to score some runs. You got to get more than 1 run out of that deal. And if they'd lost the game, that would have been something to point to. And then it's the same thing in the 5th inning. They had the bases loaded. They got no runs that inning. It's just you're leaving them on second base in the 6th. The 7th inning. You strand people on second and third. See, that's what I'm getting at. You're leaving them in scoring position. You're not leaving them. They're not getting singles and then getting stranded because that happens. But you're leaving people on second and third. And many times there's fewer than 2 outs, fewer than 2 outs. And so that's what's got to change for Arkansas, regardless of the pitcher, because we're not going to see another no-hitter. We're not going to probably not going to see some team hold. I mean, the teams left that they're going to play, UCLA or LSU, are going to score some runs.
Yeah.
And so they've got to score some runs. And the easiest way to do that is when you've got people in scoring position, get them across the plate. You got to get your share of them across the plate. You're not going to get everybody. I understand that. But 10 hits, really, I mean, I'm knocking the offense, but heck, man, 10 hits, if you produce just 1 or 2 clutch hits there, when I'm telling you all these times they got runs on second, third, you're scoring runs. So that's adequate. You can make do with 10 hits. But you can't leave that 9 on base. That's what hurt.
Well, and so now we look at the next game, and again, I know LSU and UCLA right now. LSU's got a 4-run lead, but when now we start talking about you've got to win 2. So what is going to be the strategy pitching wise? Who are you putting on the mound? Or like that is going to be, especially because you're going into it thinking we've got to have enough arms for 2 games before we would get that Friday off.
Well, I'm right now, Zach Root's going to come back. I mean, I know he wasn't happy he got pulled there, but he simply didn't have it that night. And by Dave pulling him so early, he can come back and pitch. I mean, it would not surprise me if Arkansas beats UCLA. And I haven't seen the pitcher today, the starting pitcher. There was a rumor that Root might start against UCLA tonight, or if they play UCLA, which most people think they will. I mean, that's possible, but I think what's going to happen, I think they're either going to go with Landon Bitleshees or Aiden Jimenez tonight, and then come back. If they win, come back in that first game against LSU with Zach Root. I mean, Zach Root. Yeah. Sorry, there's so many names I'm getting mixed up.
No,
but Zach Root. Yeah, but I think they'd come back with him in that game, and hopefully he gives them a better job than he did. What was that Saturday night? That it was just simply didn't have it. And but they've got the good thing is now Geikel's. He's pretty well spent, but the rest of the bullpen's there. Thanks to Geikel going giving them what he gave them Saturday night, and then what Gage Wood gave them yesterday. Other than Gabe Geico, the bullpen's rested, and ready to go.
Well, and again, it's okay to get confused on it because heck, I thought that for some reason the game got pushed back to like tomorrow because of the rain that LSU and UCLA is having to pick this game up on now. So when you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, they are playing tonight. Then if they win, they have to play tomorrow, and then after that they'd have to play again on Thursday. So this could be
my understanding is the game is still tonight.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay,
that was on me. That was on me. Yeah.
Yeah. That is an advantage for Arkansas. I mean, UCLA, and that's who I think that. Look, I think LSU is the best team in the country. I really do. I'm not saying Arkansas can't beat them; they can, but I do think LSU is the best team in the country. But you've got to get past UCLA before you worry about LSU. I'm assuming that UCLA is who they're going to play because I just think it will be. But so it'll be interesting to see what. But UCLA is going to have played what be about 6 innings today. I think they canceled that, or they postponed that in the bottom of the third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it would be 6 innings today, and then 9 tonight. I mean, that's 15 innings against a fairly fresh Arkansas team. I mean, they will have had 24. Well, no, they played one yesterday, and then they'll play at 6 tonight. So they'd have about 30 hours, 29 hours rest, compared to UCLA. So that would be an advantage for Arkansas. And so I don't know. I just think that game getting pushed back last night helps Arkansas. It may not, but I think it will.
And Otis, before we get you out of here, have you seen any of the games from the other side of the bracket and any teams that you really have just been stuck to because of the way of play?
Coastal Carolina has impressed the heck out of me, man. They're legit. I mean, I know people doubt them because of the name, but I'm telling you, man, I'll be honest with you. If this comes down to the end, like it may, with Coastal Carolina taking on LSU, that could be a heck of a series, man.
Yeah.
That could be a heck of a series. I'm telling you, I mean, LSU, I just said LSU, I think is the best team in the country. But Coastal Carolina might give them a run for money because they've got some hitting, they've got some pitching, and or even Arkansas and Coastal Carolina could be a great matchup. I think Coastal Carolina is the team on the other side that impresses me the most. Maybe, we'll see what Oregon State comes back, but I'm sold on Coastal Carolina. I'm a believer.
Yeah, 25 games straight. I think anybody would be pretty sold on them. But
yeah,
they're giving you reason to believe in them, aren't they?
No doubt about that.
A few reasons, 25 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, Otis, we appreciate it, man. I know that you hopped on with us while you're also paying attention to UCLA and LSU, and you got to get ready for another game tonight that you're going to be covering. So thank you so much, sir.
Oh, thanks for asking me. Appreciate you. Anytime you need me, just give me a call. Appreciate you asking. Thank you.
No problem.
Always good getting Otis on.
Otis Kirk of Hogville, man. Absolutely tremendous guy to have on to talk about the Hogs, and especially with the way they're going right now, because LSU is up 7-3, and the loser of this is going to play Arkansas tonight. In between those games, you're going to have Oregon State and Louisville in an elimination game coming up. That first pitch is going to be at noon. Here in just a little bit.
And I definitely look for an advantage for Arkansas going against UCLA. Of course, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that it's past that point for Arkansas. I think they're going to keep it low ball. I mean, the way that they played against Murray State, some of those hits came off of bunts. I mean, they were moving runners around into scoring position. They were trying to get those players home, but they had to play small ball against the Racers. And at the end, of course, they win, but 3-0 against Murray State, who lost 6-4 to UCLA. There's some things to be said, but at the same time, you can definitely throw those big, high-scoring or high-running games out the window at this point.
It's going to be really unique if they decide to go with Zach Root again against LSU if they win tonight.
Yeah,
that's some using some melons.
No doubt.
256-576-4977. We wrap up the Blitz on this Tuesday and we come back on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Yo Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. Samplesproperties.com.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration
do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment, best segment. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, Joe Hunk, John Abraham, as the College World Series going on right now. Continuation of the game from last night between UCLA and LSU. Winner of this game advances to the championship of Bracket 2. Loser plays Arkansas tonight in Omaha.
You know what else is going on tonight? The Stanley Cup, Game 6.
Yes.
Going down. Hockey could come to an end tonight.
I just need to know who's starting. I just need to know. Is it Skinner or Pickard?
I'm going to be real with
you.
you. The Panthers have so much more talent. It's crazy.
Panthers are 1,000% the better team. They are 1,000% the better team.
Doesn't mean they need to win.
I literally hate the fact that they are the better team.
Yeah.
But they are. It is easy to see who the better team is.
Going for 2 in a row. Again, this is a rematch from last year's Stanley Cup.
Yes, and I am also going to be paying attention to Mets and Braves. First game of this series, it is literally the next 2 weeks are all must wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Braves basically have to go on like a 10-game winning streak.
No doubt about it.
So their season is absolutely done.
It's something to be said. They got to dig themselves out of a hole. And they could also use the help of Bobcat of Huntsville to dig themselves out of that hole, of course. The segment sponsor for this last segment. And you guys can also dig up some holes. Head on down to Bobcat of Huntsville, Highway 20. I know exactly what you're reading. What do you? I know exactly. The holes.
Yeah, the whole song.
Holes theme.
Yeah, digging up the.
Yeah, they were probably also using Bobcat of Huntsville.
No, they were forced to actually use shovels, and you had to dig a hole as deep as the shovel was. So you had to dig it until the top of the shovel was no longer visible from the ground.
I don't know why they didn't just go to Bobcat of Huntsville and got themselves some mini excavators and dug those holes for them. That's where you can do it as well.
They were in like the D home. So, I mean, hey, it's a different thing.
It's Josh, an odd movie.
Yeah, it's such an odd movie, but such a great movie as well. Josh hops in on the WZZN TV chat, says, sorry, guys, I have to get back to work. But didn't Coastal Carolina win a College World Series like 5 years ago? Yes, it was a little bit longer. It was 2016 is when they won the national championship in the College World Series. He says, I think it's going to be Coastal versus Arkansas. And he says, also, Joe, I love how you gave John 742 picks. He goes, from now on, I'm giving everyone 742 chances, no matter the question I'm asking. It's because if I had not even said the name of their manager, there was no way on heavenly earth John would have ever guessed the Tufts Jumbos.
No, I would have never known. And I'm a little upset that was the quiz for today. I had to pretty much just guess out of a humongous pool.
Well, absolutely.
Including teams that probably aren't on the D1 level. And also they don't have a mascot either because, he fell off. Well, got hit by a train.
No, he got hit by the train, and then P.T. Barnum donated him to Tufts, which gave them the nickname of the Tufts Jumbos.
I'm still just dumbfounded by that whole thing.
And then I believe there was a fire.
Where was the fire?
I think the fire was at Barnum Hall, because the Barnum Hall was supposed to be a museum for animals and everything. Like,
did we lose Jumbo completely?
I think we lost Jumbo.
Well, that's why there's the surviving fragments of Jumbo.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a tusk over here. There's a toe over there.
That's why it's various. That's why
Yes.
its resting place is various.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's all coming together. We're just piecing this story together.
Kind of like what we had to do with Jumbo the moment he got hit by the train.
Yeah, and all of what we did yesterday. For
Nobody
the
can get
RCA.
mad at me for making fun of an elephant that got ran over by a train in 1885.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been over 100 years. Nobody can get upset about this.
I don't think anybody's questioning you, Joe. I mean, last week we were talking about the Titanic, and they were probably.
Oh my heavens! There's a Titanic game coming out.
I saw that.
There's a Titanic game coming out where you have to escape the Titanic.
It actually looks pretty
before
good.
It sinks.
It looks pretty good.
I cannot wait to play this. I've watched the documentary on Titan probably 5 times since it came out. You've got to watch both. Netflix, it only goes so far. Like it gets up to where everybody that was involved with it that left said, "Well, we tried to tell you."
So it gets up to where it gets down.
Yes,
I
it
got
gets
you.
up to it gets down. But then you have the one that's on Max, and then the one that's on Max actually goes into the implosion itself. And then there's this really cool video. It's really not cool, but it's a really cool video that they show the what they're using to search, their submersible that they're using to search when they see the wreck for the very first time, like the wreck of the submersible. And it's like, okay, we don't have anything here. We don't have anything here. Wait a second. I'm seeing some debris. And then
there it is.
In the shot, you then see the submersible face down right beside the Titanic.
That's like devastating.
No,
I'm like Joe Tessitore. There it is.
It is.
That's
also their fault because they were stupid. And so it was. Oh no! When you watch this documentary and find out just how dumb that guy was, yeah, they were idiots.
They were doomed from the beginning. So you're going to be watching Braves Mets. You might be listening to it on 97.7. You can also listen to Trash Pandas versus Chattanooga over on Talk Radio WZZN. With shout out to Zach Nito as he had a awesome, wicked backhanded catch.
No, shout out to Christian Moore, SEMO, first major league hit. Triple leads to the only run of the game.
Yeah, that's good too. I'm watching the Yankees.
SEMO was just here.
I got you. Okay. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that